A stern warning from authorities that Singaporeans and permanent residents who abuse drug-laced vapes like K-pods overseas can still be dealt with here. The Home Affairs Ministry says this includes the use of etomidate, a substance that has been listed as a Class C drug since this month under the Misuse of Drugs Act. Alif Amshah reports.
As Singapore doubles down on efforts against drug-laced vapes, it's putting forth a stern warning against Singaporeans, in particular, those who think they can get away with committing such offences overseas.
Singapore citizens and permanent residents who are found to have abused controlled drugs outside Singapore will be dealt with as if that offence had been committed in Singapore. With the temporary listing of etomidate and its analogues as Class C controlled drugs, the same provision will apply to those who abuse etomidate overseas.
In a lengthy discussion around vape enforcement in Parliament, more than a dozen MPs sought clarifications with the Home Affairs and Health Ministries. They range from the promotion of vapes on social media apps to border control measures.
With the Johor Economic Zone moving closer to reality, and the planned seamless MRT link between Singapore and Johor Bahru, does the government anticipate an increased risk of illicit substances such as vapes being trafficked across our borders?
I would like to know how are the courier and parcel companies being engaged and listed to assist in detecting and reporting the issue of vapes beyond, especially those that have probably slipped through our border controls before.
Prof. Faisal says that more than 500,000 vapes and components were seized between mid-September last year and last week. This comes after authorities foiled large-scale smuggling attempts at checkpoints and those via postal channels. Meanwhile, Health Minister Ong Ye Kung says there have been almost 10,000 cases of vape possession or use in the first 8 months of this year. Over half of the users are aged below 25.
The Ministry of Health is reviewing the longer-term legislation needed to adapt to this new landscape. The new legislation will provide legal powers to enforce against e-vaporizers of all kinds, provide for mandatory rehabilitation and supervision regimes, and set appropriate penalties for users and suppliers. We plan to enact the new legislation in the first quarter of 2026.
Mr. Ong adds that there are now more than 10,000 officers empowered to enforce against vape-related offences. For example, joint raids have been conducted at night spots, along with operations at institutes of higher learning. Mr. Ong also says 6,000 vapes and components have been collected at these dedicated disposal bins from July to August. He says these are now placed at specific locations such as border checkpoints.